So recently, Sir Roger Penrose has come forward and he stated that they've discovered 6 Hawking points, which I believe is electromagnetic radiation. And he says that these 6 points point to a prior universe that our universe, I guess, was given birth from. Is that the correct interpretation of these Hawking points? And does this have any bearing on Genesis at all, the Genesis creation account? What's your opinion on that?
Well, he's referring to the maps of the radiation left over from the cosmic creation event, the cosmic background radiation.
Right.
And the latest maps, that put out by Planck and the 9-year W map, he's basically saying there's a possibility that some of the irregularities that we're seeing in those maps might be these Hawking points. But he's very careful to use the word might. He's not saying it. He's saying there's a possibility.
Could they?
And so that basically says we need to get better maps, but that will be challenging. The maps we have already are quite good, and I would say if you actually look at those maps, our best interpretation of those maps are that they support a single beginning, Big Bang beginning of the universe. And what I find ironic about Penrose's statements, in the book that he wrote with Stephen Hawking, they did this course at Cambridge where they debated one another for a whole semester in front of students and graduate students and faculty, and they wound up putting a book out. It's basically on God, eternity, and time, and cosmology. A very fascinating debate. But Penrose said in that book, okay, if you're going to speculate that there's a universe that preceded ours that was collapsing and transitioned to a universe that's expanding, you've got the same problem you've got with wormholes. Namely, that you have to join the geometry of a collapsing universe to the geometry of an expanding universe. And mathematically, that's conceivable. The physical possibility of that happening is zero.
Right.
You're not going to join it. I mean, just like you can't take a singularity of black hole A and black hole B, have them perfectly meet one another and travel from one space-time realm to another. The probability of getting those two singularities to perfectly touch one another, although mathematically possible, it's just not going to happen physically. And moreover, it won't be stable. And so those two requirements also apply to Penrose's latest speculations. But he's a theoretical physicist. He admits that it's speculation. He's not saying this is the way it is.
Right.
So I think people need to carefully read what he says. And he's also on record as saying there must be purpose behind the universe and purpose behind us human beings.
Right.
So when I read that book where the debate between Hawking and Penrose, it was like you got two physicists, one defending deism, namely Stephen Hawking, and one defending theism, namely Roger Penrose. But as I read the book, I'm not sure either one of them would be a Christian. But where Penrose stood apart is he says, there really is purpose. If there's purpose, there must be a personal
purpose,
universe.